Well, hello and welcome to Pop and Heat, episode 27. I'm Kier.
And I'm Leash. And welcome to your new favorite wrestling podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hi. Here we
Episode
go.
27.
Yeah, I don't have a milestone for that.
Love a number with a 7 in it.
I think you said last time we were going to only, eventize fives and
Yeah, we quickly
on the 5 and the 10.
changed the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. 27. It feels good.
Still something to be proud of.
Yeah. Let's move on. So we're going to do things a little different on this episode. We are not really going to spend any time talking about SmackDown.
Yeah.
That's, far enough in the past. We don't need to really rehash that. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank,
Mhm.
the results from that and some of the, storyline changes that, developed from that. Monday Night Raw, of course. And then we'll just sort of talk about what's going on.
Yeah, we got the social. Also, SmackDown was just a lot of promo and lead up to Money in the Bank anyways. So,
Yeah, well, that's it, right? I mean,
yeah.
Money in the Bank is the important stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
It's that cash in freebie that everybody wants to win.
Yeah, I mean, for the women, I think it's 100%.
Yeah,
That they're going to win a championship. Yeah, men, I think it's like 76. Mostly that's Drew McIntyre's fault.
He really failed them.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre.
That was sad last year.
Yeah, it was a little bit sad.
Yeah.
He is whiny, but I do like Drew McIntyre a lot. So
yeah, we haven't had a lot to talk about with him really in the last couple of weeks, but hopefully there's something good for him on the horizon.
Yeah, our Scottish warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Money in the Bank was on Saturday, June 7th. And we'll start off with a recap of that. And we started off, we were trying to predict which match would be first. And I don't think either of us predicted that they would open with a Money in the Bank ladder match, but they did.
Yeah, I was a little surprised pleasantly.
Yeah.
Banger of a way to get the show started.
I think so, yeah.
Well done. We had said we didn't really know how to make a prediction with this other than to just go with somebody that we liked because there wasn't really a whole lot of storyline. Three new girls, 3 veterans, but 3 veterans without a tying story to one another. So it felt like it wasn't going to be as compelling.
And I think we both went Alexa Bliss. That's what we predicted for this match.
Yeah.
Which I think would have made a lot of sense. I think, as we said when we made the predictions, that there was some stuff kind of going on between Tiffany Stratton, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair. So out of everybody here, when we made those predictions, that's what I thought made the most sense for somebody that would have ample reason to cash in on one of the current champs in the women's division. But that's not the way it went.
No. I got to give a shout out to my bro.
Yeah.
Jamie, he called this one.
He did.
He predicted Naomi would win, and she did.
None of the rest of us were on that page, but he knew it.
No, and I don't know how he knew it. He's basically saying something to the effect of feeling like Jade is going to be in a title picture soon, and then Naomi will come around to take it from her. So
not a bad prediction, and obviously for Money in the Bank, it panned out for him. So we had Naomi retrieve the briefcase as the winner. I was shocked out of everybody, but you know what? I'm glad, to be honest, and I'm sorry for all the huge NXT fans. And I know, we got a lot of great women coming up from NXT right now, but they're so fresh and new. I was worried they were going to give it to one of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely doing more with them than we expected.
Yeah.
So it wasn't out of the question that one of them may win. So yeah, I'm glad that somebody that was, in our opinion, more deserving won.
Yeah.
Not thrilled it was Naomi, but could have been worse. I do like the idea of a heel with the briefcase. I think it does make it a lot more exciting. You can expect a a bad guy to do something a little bit more nefarious, and that's sort of the nature of Money in
Yeah.
the Bank, right? The cash in itself is a bit of a underhanded thing to do. So I think it definitely works better with a heel.
Yeah. I think in essence, it requires someone to turn on somebody else, or at least that's the more interesting thing. So having it in a heel's hands definitely plays into that well. Um, Also, I think this match did really keep us on the edge of our seats right up until the end.
It was good. I think I think there wasn't as much ladder action as there was last year. Like I was trying to think about all the just the wicked spots that there were with the ladders last year. Like it felt like there was more of that. But at the same time, I think last year while we were watching all of that, we were like, why do they do this? They need to stop.
Yeah.
So, I guess they were pulling back a little bit on the usage of the ladders with some of those more dangerous moves. Um, there was one spot where I think it was Rhea did like a flip and like just barely landed on the ladder,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I can't remember if it was her or not, but there was a couple of times where the moves looked like it was quite likely they were getting pretty hurt, but I don't think it was as bad as last year.
They also did some synchronized stuff like Roxanne Perez on one end and I think maybe Alexa Bliss on the other end. And, you know, I don't know if they're power bombing people onto the ladders. And
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, it was cool, but it was very choreographed, I'd say. Like they're looking at each other to make sure they have the right timing. So still neat visually to see, but doesn't lend itself well to looking improvised or spur of the moment.
Yeah, and I mean we're big on kayfabe. I don't know if you're still supposed to say that anymore. I mean
Yeah.
they've got a Netflix show called
We're
Unreal.
abandoning the whole thing apparently.
Well, yeah, and like I was saying, that the Unreal show that they're
Yeah.
doing on Netflix, it's just pulling back the curtain. We don't really like that. I'm not watching that show. I like to keep the allure alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, to see choreographed things like that, it's not my favorite,
No, no.
but a good match nonetheless.
Yep. It was. It was high energy.
Yeah.
Next we had, okay, this was a spur of the moment thing which happened at Worlds Collide, which we did not watch. That was earlier in the day. That was with Triple A, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And apparently Dom and Liv showed up to that, and there was kind of a feud happening between him and one of the Triple A wrestlers, Octagon Jr. And Dom said, come on over to Money in the Bank. I'm going to put my title on the line. So we had a match between the two of them.
Yeah, which we didn't even find out until later in the day because, as you say, we didn't watch that. And we had like said, if there's more matches added on SmackDown, we'll talk about it in a TikTok or
Yeah.
something. And we did that TikTok, but
missed
there was
it.
no matches added that we knew of. So imagine, how silly we felt when we learned of this new match after posting that video. Anyways, obviously we predicted Dom would win.
Yeah.
We love Dom. He
Yeah.
won. It was
All that
great.
to say, like, there was no way in our minds, or probably anybody else's. It was nice that they incorporated this into Money in the Bank, but there was no way Dom was losing in this match. And
No, you know what I did like though? This was a clean win for Dom.
yeah,
We
that's
don't
fun.
get to see too many of those. Like he's usually got some sort of help or
From the Judgment Day, yeah.
something.
He only had Liv there, and she was just kind of spectating ringside. There wasn't really any interference or anything.
Yeah.
So
It was good to see him get a clean win.
yeah. So he got the 619 and Frog Splash for the win, and he retains.
And still.
And still. Next, we had for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch.
Yeah. So, this one we figured was pretty much a no-brainer, but in today's WWE age, you just never know. There's no such thing as a no-brainer. But it was what we thought. Becky got the belt.
Yeah, and she forced Lyra to hold her hand up in the air as the champ.
Yeah, Lyra was none too pleased about it.
Reluctant to do it.
Probably angry that Becky won with a handful of tights.
Yeah, that happened too. Yeah.
Michael Cole is livid.
Yeah, stealthy cheating there.
I mean, the tights
I wouldn't
thing,
have even known that was cheating because that's like a.
Yeah, you were asking, like, what's he talking
Like,
about?
who cares?
Like, that was a thing when I was a kid, you know, in the golden era, you weren't really allowed to grab tights. Now, I don't know that you are allowed to now. It's just not something that's really talked about a lot. So it's kind of funny. I mean, with all the other ways that we see people win, I think grabbing a bit of tights is, you know, pretty tame.
It's the least of the cheating that's happening during these matches.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
So it felt like a good win for Becky, and I felt like it should be a win for Becky. This is Becky Lynch we're talking about. Whether you like her, whether you hate her, she is in the conversation for who is the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know, in the women's division. And, you know, this belt, whether it goes back to Lyra or not, this belt is made more important by Becky holding it right now.
Yeah. And Becky's my girl. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I'm thrilled about it. I think I have a note here, and I think Becky did a little post-match attack.
No, it wasn't Becky. Lyra.
Post-match attack.
Post-match
attack. I know
attack.
there was like a. Let's do it again. I want a real one.
Okay.
Post-match attack.
Post-match attack.
Yeah, that was better. That's where I'm going to insert it, guys. Lyra got like a suplex and a Nightwing on Becky, but I thought Becky instigated that whole thing.
Well, it's because she was taking it a bit far. I mean, the deal was hold my arm up if I win.
Right.
She makes her hold it up to all four sides of the ring. Yeah. And then wanted her to put the belt on her. Like, it was getting silly.
Yeah.
I don't blame Lyra.
I do.
In the press conference, Becky didn't, really seem to care. She was still pretty happy.
She is the champ.
She is the man.
She is the man. Yeah, she is. Okay, so next we had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And participants in that were Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, Andrade, Penta, and El Star Buxo.
El Star Buxo. I love it.
Is that a fun one?
I was terrified that he was going to win.
I know. Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Your feelings on him are a real roller coaster ride because you've gone from like hating it to like, I'm kind of coming around to like, it's okay, but don't let him win.
It has a place, but it needs to stay in its lane. And its lane is not winning Money in the Bank.
No.
I mean, I'm all for a little bit of comedy, and it's better than what was going on with Chad Gable. So
for sure it is. Yeah.
And I mean, I showed you this. I saw a clip of somebody who bought the El Grande Americano mask from WWE shop.
Oh, yeah.
And it has a sticker on the outside of the bag that says Chad Gable luchador mask. So, I mean, they're not even trying to hide it. Like come on.
WWE admitting with their merch that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano.
I mean, just stop with the denial, people. Okay? It's
you never know.
Thing.
I don't know. There's question about tattoo placement. There's lots of things going on.
I don't know. Anyways, all this to say.
Yep.
I did not want him to win. I predicted Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I predicted Solo Sikoa.
For a minute there, it looked like you might be correct.
I know. But we had some interference. So
shocking.
Yeah, shocking. We had multiple interferences here because we had Jacob Fatu show up with what's his
JC.
head? Yeah, JC.
What's his head? Yeah, because it's not what's his neck.
I don't know. They called him Jason Cobb. Now they're calling him JC Mateo. I don't know. He likes a slick black onesie. Anyways.
It's very slick, yeah.
They show up, interfere, they kind of turn on Solo, so that is blowing up. And then we also had some interference from Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to help Seth Rollins retrieve that briefcase.
Yeah, and I don't know that was even the most exciting thing. Like the turning on Solo with Fatu. I
Yeah.
mean, that's such a long time coming now.
Huge
It was
storyline.
great. It was really, really well done, I thought. It looked for a second like they were there to help. And, Solo was going to maybe get up, but pretty much, as soon as he started kind of getting the ladder ready for him, I was like, oh no, this isn't going to go well for him.
And that was the possible storyline that I think that was what I fell into the trap of, is that, Solo wins this and then turns on Jacob after to get that title belt. And that was a viable possibility. And obviously during this, WWE played into that to give people a little surprise twist.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good guess for sure. I just, I felt like this faction with Seth and, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they're obviously putting so much in that basket that this briefcase just really adds to the clout of it all.
They needed something to amp up their status for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Seth Rollins, which you love, you're Seth Rollins.
Not upset about it.
Big fan.
Yeah, I dig it. And I like his henchmen are carrying the briefcase for him now. And like Paul hands it to him. He holds it up like Roman with the belt,
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second. That happened on Raw, but I have when that happens, they the whole time that scene's happening. I'm going to talk about it now, but we are going to talk about it more in a second. But the whole time he's holding the briefcase up, he's like blocking Paul Heyman's face. So it's just a shot of him and Braun Breaker. And then the briefcase is in front of Paul Heyman's face for like a minute while they're doing it.
You can't be blocking the bronzer.
Paul Heyman needs to be in there. He is a important part of the faction.
The moving bronze statue that is Paul Heyman.
Yeah, supporting the tanning industry.
I quickly want to shout out Rock and Wrestling Reviews again. I don't know if you saw.
We talk about them every episode now. No, I didn't.
They showed Bayley. Oh my God! They're like she's been caught by the bronzing crew or whatever, or she's the next victim of the self tanner group. Oh my God!
I don't know. Also, I don't know. This is politically correct to talk about, but I don't know if it was the top she was wearing, but Bayley was on. Well, so this is more. Again, this is all stuff from.
We're jumping.
We're jumping all over the place, but
it's our show. We'll do whatever the hell we want.
Bayley had some cleavage going on. She looked good.
Yeah.
But I just feel like she maybe is just normally wearing like a more full coverage wrestling uniform, but she was in kind of like a tank top. And we, for a second, were like, did Bayley go off to get some plastic surgery? She's got looking a little chesty. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
and good for her.
Start a little controversy. Why don't you?
All right. We got a little off track there, but that's okay.
Oh my gosh. We're going to get the people talking now.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what we want. Next, we had John Cena and Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso.
Yeah. Because of how things seem to be going John and Logan's way on the way to Money in the Bank, we figured it was likely going to go in Cody and Jay's favor for the match. We weren't wrong.
No, that was our prediction, and that was a big check mark. But
they did not do it alone.
No, they did not.
They had a little help.
Yep. From follower of Poppin' Heat.
That's right. Our boy.
R-Truth returns.
Yeah.
And,
to the delight of everyone.
Yeah, fans went wild.
Oh my gosh, what a pop. And, gives John a little taste of his own medicine, makes him eat a little bit of the championship belt, which helps Cody put his finisher on him and get the 3 count.
Yeah, pulls the belt out of the ring and then runs away. It's like a quick little in and out.
Yeah, but it was a really, really well done segment there. I think, the world was turned upside down by the news that R-Truth had been released, and nobody could really understand why. So, he was in, he was out. It was awesome. Everyone was really happy about it. And it kind of left us all wondering, like, was it a work the whole time, or did the audience, did the fans make an impact again? Kind of like we want Cody at WrestleMania 40, right? So it was nice. It gave us something to chew on for a couple of days until Raw hit.
Yeah, it was like you were just saying. I was going to say it was still unclear whether this all happened because of, fan outrage or because that was the plan from the start. We don't know for sure. And I don't know if we'll ever know for sure. But R-Truth posted himself that it was not a work, that this was the fans that did this.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more of that as we go into to Raw.
It's okay.
Because
we're fluid
as
tonight.
you might have guessed, he made an appearance.
Yeah. All right. So then we'll go into Monday Night Raw.
You don't say.
Yep. That's what's next.
Imagine.
I know. During Monday Night Raw, the first match we had was AJ Styles versus Chad Gable.
Yeah. Not overly exciting for you and I.
No. Two people I really have no interest in. Although, I've been liking Chad Gable with his El Grande Americano because I think
you admit it now.
Oh.
Wow.
Listen, all right. If WWE is going to put stickers on the merch that say his name, I can't really deny it now, can I?
Pretty great.
But I think someone else is involved. I do think there's there's a masked caper. But anyway. So AJ Styles couldn't care less.
Yeah, me neither.
Don't like him. But he won this match.
He did get the win.
Yeah. And pinned Chad Gable. So there you have that.
It's hard to win when you don't have a mask to hold a metal plate in your head.
Yeah.
For headbutts, know.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's the problem, Chad?
Yeah. So next we went into, which we did not know was happening, Queen of the Ring, Fatal 4-Way. We have some qualifiers tonight for, I guess they're doing not really a qualifier. What do you call it when they do?
Brackets.
Brackets, yes. So they're doing that for Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring, and they started it on Monday Night Raw. And so we had a Queen of the Ring Fatal 4-Way, Rhea Ripley versus Kairi Sane, versus Liv Morgan versus Roxanne Perez.
Yeah. This is called Night of Champions this year, it seems.
Yeah, confusing. So we were expecting King and Queen of the Ring to be their own thing. Last year they were. It was its own PLE. So we were like, when we had heard Night of Champions was happening, we're like, when is King of the Ring happening? It's happening at Night of Champions. It's all the same thing now. So I don't know why they rebranded that, but they did.
Well, they had Night of Champions before, but I don't think it was for King and Queen of the Ring.
No, exactly.
It was just a different PLE. I think that's where Seth won the World Championship for the first time.
Right, okay.
But anyways.
Yeah.
All this to say, that's what's going on. And this Fatal 4-Way with these ladies. I mean, you've got three pretty big names. I think it was fairly obvious Kairi Sane wasn't going to be the one moving on in this match, but to put the other three together, Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, that right away just kind of made, I would guess, make everybody go, holy crap, like you're going to kick out some big names with this match.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and you guys know me. Who do you think I was rooting for?
Yeah. Yeah, of course, Liv Morgan. And I was too. I would, out of this group of people, I would want Liv Morgan to win. I don't have much stock in Kairi Sane, and Rhea Ripley could win. That would probably be my second to Liv Morgan out of these four. But I think that it played well on the match played well on this feud that's going on with Roxanne Perez and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely continued to add fire to that. But kind of as I thought about it more, so yeah, Roxanne Perez wins. Did you even say that? Yeah.
Roxanne Perez wins. Raquel Rodriguez is there. She kind of brawls with Rhea Ripley, gets Rhea out of the picture, and then Roxanne Perez ends up pinning Kairi Sane.
So Roxanne Perez, who's 23, has qualified for Elimination Chamber, which we were at.
Mm-hmm.
qualified for Money in the Bank and is now moving on in Queen of the Ring. Like, they've got, a lot of hopes for her, it seems. So
Yeah. She's having a real Tiffany Stratton year.
yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
It's very similar. And I can see why. I mean,
Yeah.
she's definitely good. And no offense to her, but what I came to realize in thinking more about King and Queen of the Ring, it's kind of like what I think most people think about the Intercontinental and United States Championships, whereas they're sort of mid card, right?
Yeah.
They're not meant for the upper echelon. King and Queen of the Ring, that's mid.
Yeah.
That's not for the biggest names.
What was our queen last year was Nia Jax, is that right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Gunther was the king.
Right.
Now, they are pretty big names, but they are the B level of those, the championships.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think that, I mean, maybe this is just the Liv Morgan fan in me trying to make excuses for why she didn't win, but I just think she's probably above Queen of the Ring, right? I mean, she's the crown jewel champ. She's won the world title 3 times.
Yeah.
She's 4-time tag team champion.
I don't disagree with that. And Rhea Ripley too. Same situation.
Yeah, I think that they're just a little too big for it, and they're trying to keep it more compelling in that mid-card range.
Yeah. Yep. That makes sense to me too. So that was that. So she'll go on in that bracket to continue competing for Queen of the Ring. Next, we did have a King of the Ring fatal 4-way. That was Sami Zayn, Penta, Dom Mysterio, and Braun Breaker.
Now, I mean, this one far different than the women's one, whereas like this is all sort of mid-card names.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
there's no big name in this.
Dom is belted
He's Intercontinental.
up. So, I mean,
Intercontinental is mid.
Yeah, I know. You think he would get both though? Like, I mean, he didn't. Spoiler, but do you think there was a chance that he could have gotten King of the Ring?
I mean, there was a chance.
Or I guess he could have won this match and continued on, maybe not won actual.
My prediction in the moment, because we didn't know this match was happening. My prediction as the match came to be was that Braun would win. I figured he's the force in that group. Did not go that way.
No, they can't throw your favorite faction everything. So
that's right.
We get a Sami Zayn win. Yep.
Which is not upsetting. And, thinking about that mid-card thing, like this is perfect for Sami. I think King of the Ring is perfect for him. I think there's a great chance he goes on to win this.
Yeah.
People love Sami. They're not going to give him a belt.
And he hasn't had too much going on lately. I mean, I don't know, some stuff with Seth and whatever, but not a lot going on. So this would give him something big.
Yep.
For sure.
You heard it here. I think Sami's going to win.
I think that's a good prediction. And I think that building him up a little bit more to, potentially stay, because he kind of was on this whole rampage that like Seth Rollins is just doing the same stuff as the bloodline now and he needs to be stopped and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, that would be good to promote Sami up to that, to give him some clout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next we had the World Heavyweight Championship, Jey Uso versus Gunther. And this was a sad moment for all.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like literally just feeling sad as you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Like tear. 51 freaking days.
Our favorite Yeet King.
I love when you say that. Yeet King. We're Canadian. We love a band called Tragically Hip. And they have a cool song called The Wheat Kings.
Yeah.
And not The Wheat King. Wheat Kings. So when you say Yeet King, it makes me think of that. And that's cool. Yeah. I don't know why WWE would take the belt off Jey Uso after 51 days. This man is making you so much money. I mean, I guess that's it, right? Like, he doesn't need the belt. Everybody loves him regardless. I don't know. It just seemed like the wrong thing to do to this man.
Yeah.
This kid was there.
As a base character. Maybe they just want him to keep chasing. They don't want him to stay at the top yet because they don't want to bring him back down. They want him to keep chasing being the hero for a little bit. I mean, I think that could be it. I don't think that Gunther needed this belt back.
No.
Or, I don't know. Needed is kind of a weird word. I don't like that Gunther has it back, but.
See, I don't hate it.
Oh, interesting.
I don't hate that Gunther has the belt. I think he makes sense as a champion. I just don't like that it had to happen this way.
Gotcha.
I don't like that Jay got a 51-day title run. It's like embarrassing.
Yeah.
2 title defenses, I think it was. It's not enough for a guy that had such a build up. I mean, we talked about how long the WrestleMania storyline build up between he and Gunther was. I mean, they could have let him have it for longer. That's all. I just think, maybe a 6-month title reign would have been fine. I feel really bad for him.
You never know what they have up their sleeve. He could be getting it back next week. We don't know.
I've also heard, though, that I guess he and Jimmy miss being in a tag team together. So maybe they want to pursue that, add even more shine to the tag team division, because if the Wyatt Six is coming in there, maybe that's more exciting.
I mean, I'm all for building up more in the tag division. So if that's what they're going to do, that's definitely putting a big star in the tag division, which we've said before they kind of need to do.
That's it.
Is throw some of the big stars in the tag division.
Nobody bigger, really. Yeah. I mean, who has the crowd more than Jey Uso?
Yeah, not many. Not many.
Definitely the youth, right?
Yeah.
The kids just love him.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, he's super popular. I mean, and that's where you see all the merch sales. He's selling sunglasses and T-shirts and
all the live shows we've gone to.
Yeah,
the kids, they all love him.
There's Yeet shirts all throughout the crowd. It's crazy. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. I do have some non-match highlights to run through, things that happened throughout the show that were not during a match. So, we had Bayley return.
Yeah. So the self-tanner.
Yes.
Bayley.
This was our moment.
Yeah, she's joined the bronze faction.
Yes, and she was looking very curvy. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. I'm not saying
Bayley looked good.
She looked good.
A little Oompa Loompa-ish from a color standpoint.
A little extra bronze, but she was looking healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And we love Bayley, so we're happy she's back. She did, attack Becky Lynch, which I don't love, but kind of, Becky
knew it was coming, though.
Deserving of it.
I mean, everyone knew that was how Bayley was coming back, was to attack Becky. We just didn't know when it would be.
Exactly.
That was 1,000,000% what was going to happen. As I say, everybody knew that. So,
and needed to happen.
No big shock there.
Yeah.
I did like how essentially Bayley made her leave the ring and kind of back right into Lyra, who then threw her right back at Bayley. So that was kind of funny. She ran away through the crowd and just left her belt in the ring.
Yeah.
Immediate disrespect.
This is great for Becky Lynch as the heel, because she does struggle to get the heat from the crowd as the heel. She's doing a great job of it, but it is hard because the crowd loves her. So, so.
They're screaming like hell for her still. They're still popping big time for her.
But I think this Bayley thing is good for that. Having Bayley back, the crowd also loves Bayley. So
I think that'll help for sure.
Yeah.
I love that now. I was thinking this when it happened, this is now going to be a Bayley pursuing the title against Becky now. These big names going after an Intercontinental belt, that does add a lot of shine to a mid-card belt. I think it's really cool. And maybe it won't feel like that on the women's side. It'll always be that way on the men's side. It just will. Yeah. But, maybe it'll feel like a third title, like a third big title on the women's side.
Right. Yeah. You keep getting a thumbs up coming up on your screen. Do you see that? Do I get that?
I see it all the time. I have no idea what it is.
Okay. We'll have to see if it's in the actual recording, but you're getting little
constant
thumbs up bubbles. Well, guys, if the whole time you've been watching this, Kier has had a little thought bubble with a thumbs up. We are not purposely doing that, and we don't know why it's happening. So that is the beauty of us producing this show on our own.
I remember it was happening last week, and it didn't show on our
all
recording.
right.
So I think
maybe
we're fine.
I brought it up for nothing then, but
Yeah.
it's a fun little technical issue that we deal with in the background.
It's our little secret.
It's
Or
not
at least
anymore.
it used to be.
I told everyone.
Yeah.
I never noticed it before. So, okay. Next we had R-Truth, who
Yep.
is now rebranded as Ron Killings. He came out and cut his hair right off.
Yeah, I mean, this this is this is a bad move. I
Yeah.
think what's happening here is all kinds of wrong, and I don't know whose idea it is, but it's just insanity, really. And here's why. First of all, he comes out and he says, "Don't ever let anybody tell you that your voice doesn't matter. You know, I'm here because of you." Okay, if that's true, you know, the crowd and all of their disdain for the idea that he'd be released, you know, brought him back. Why is he becoming a whole other character?
Yeah.
Like, if the world was screaming, bring back this guy we love, why would you come back and be something different than the guy that they were screaming for? And that's what he's done. He's gone immediately saying, now I'm not going to be that guy. He's a little too dumb. He's a little too trusting. He's a little too whatever. He wasn't a little too anything. He was the right amount of everything. Like, that was the point. And then you cut your friggin' hair off, make everybody's jaws hit the floor, and then start kind of acting mean. And then in other videos that I've seen in his social media or, you know, other podcasts and whatnot that he's been on since, he's showing this like angry side, this like, I'm not going to be nice anymore. Like, why you would change the formula that was clearly working is a total mystery to me. And I am going to predict that it fails huge.
Yeah, I don't really know where they're going with it. I did read something where he had requested that if he came back as Ron Killings and not R-Truth. I don't know. Maybe he's sick of that comedic character. It's hard to play the same thing for a long time, and you want to change it up every now and then, and it would have been a hard transition for him any other way. This gives him a reason to change the character because he has left and come back all within the same week, but it gives him and the feud with John Cena, it gives him a reason to change his character. I'm not saying I love it. I'm just saying I can understand why he is taking this opportunity maybe to make that change. That does not mean it's going to go well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if it's all just been a work and this was the plan the whole time, then, you know, okay, it's not something to get as worked up about. But clearly, whether it was the crowd that brought him back or not, clearly the crowd loved him the way he was.
Yeah.
There's no disputing that fact, right? That we can all agree on. So if it was the plan to bring him back as this more hard-edged, mean guy, once you saw the crowd reaction to wanting R-Truth back, you should have shifted gears and brought him back the way he was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, I think, too much common sense in not letting this happen for them to miss that. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all plays out, but it is definitely a sharp turn for sure. Next we had Nikki Bella returns. But she was laid out by your fave gal, Liv Morgan.
Yeah. This whole thing was weird to me. Like, she said she was coming back to talk about Evolution, the all women's
Yeah, I
DLE
don't
that's
know if
coming
she's
out.
permanent or not.
But yeah, like you didn't say, like, are you a part of it? Are you back in WWE? Like, why she was there, why she was talking about it at all is still a mystery to me. I really don't know what that was all about. But essentially, she comes out talking about how strong the women's division is right now and starts listing names and doesn't list Liv Morgan, who should be at the top of any list when you're talking about the power in the women's division. That's not me being biased. Everybody knows she was Wrestler of the Year 2024. Clearly, it was the year of Liv Morgan. So pretty silly for Nikki to not mention her, and Liv came out and taught her a lesson.
Yep. And we love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Smoked her.
Know your role.
Hit her with the oblivion, left her laying in the ring.
And I would think my prediction would be that will lead to Evolution, the all women's PLE will have probably Nikki Bella and Liv Morgan.
Oh, maybe, huh?
That's what I think will happen, yeah.
Hmm.
Even if Nikki Bella's not back permanently and she's just back to promote this PLE and is going to be in the PLE, I think that moment right there will lead to them being in a match at Evolution.
See, again, I feel like that's going to be a miss too, because in that PLE, you should have all the women's belts on the line, and the tag team championship should be up for grabs. So maybe Nikki will come back with her sister, and the Bella twins will.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's a good prediction. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But I think that she will be in Evolution, and it'll be something to do with Liv Morgan. So,
we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, lastly, we had John Cena and CM Punk. So they kind of have a verbal battle back and forth, and they agree to have a title match. CM Punk wants to have it right there, right then, and John Cena says, "Nope, we're going to do it at Night of Champions."
Yeah. Obviously, the crowd would have loved that. It was kind of a kick in the teeth for them.
I hate when
to
they
have
do
that tease like that.
Right here, right now, and the crowd's like going nuts because they're like, "Oh my God, we're going to see John Cena and CM Punk fight. Nobody could have expected this." And then they're like, "Just kidding. We're going to do it at Night of Champions." So head over to Saudi Arabia and we'll see you there.
The belt doesn't usually change hands when they do it on a Raw or SmackDown, so it would have definitely been lackluster. So, I mean, it definitely adds more mystery to the whole thing if they do it at Night of Champions. However, I will predict right now, Punk's not going to get the belt. Not there.
No.
Cena's not, I've said it 100 times. He's not giving up the belt until the end of the year, right? And when somehow storyline has Cody coming back into the picture, taking the belt back from John Cena, that's how this goes.
Yeah.
QB1 comes back into the picture and takes back his belt, says, "This is my kingdom. Peace out."
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think Cody is finishing out the year without getting that belt back. So I would agree. This segment also had the tease of Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank briefcase. We kind of touched on this already. This is where I was saying he kind of walks out, holds it up, and is laughing. And he just stands there, which you said right away. You're like, I hope he just stands there and holds it because I love that. And that's what happened. But it did block out Paul Heyman's face the whole time that he stood there.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing.
I didn't like it. Paul Heyman needs to be visible. He is the wise man.
I thought it was pretty cool, though. Like, I mean, just the timing of it all, to have him come out and just literally stand at the entrance holding the belt and just being like, "I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm coming. You never know." I love it. The whole thing is cool. And I think Seth Rollins is such a great character to have that belt. I just love it. Not belt, briefcase.
Briefcase, yeah.
Very exciting.
The title he holds is Paul Heyman. He won him in a match.
That's right. Can't wrap that around your waist. So.
All right, and that was it for Monday Night Raw. So, I don't know, you want to do a little top of the pop, hottest of the heat for just Money in the Bank?
Let's do it.
Just Money in the Bank. All right, first segment. Let's roll into her.
Let's. Top of the pop.
Top of the pop.
Yeah, well, I kind of said it already. If you were listening, I dropped it.
Did you?
Yep.
I don't remember. Should we do 1, 2, 3?
Sure.
Like I know who I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
R-Truth. We're on the same page.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so we've already
makes
gone
sense.
over this a ton, but he definitely got the crowd a-going.
Yeah, they were far more mixed in their reaction to the R-Truth that they got, or the Ron Killings that they got on Monday Night Raw, and you felt it. Like, you
Yeah.
could feel the crowd was just like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah.
what's going on?" But on Money in the Bank, they were popping.
Yeah. So let's roll into our next segment.
You suck.
Hottest of the heat.
Hottest of the heat.
Well,
I don't know. This one's tough.
not for me.
Not for you?
Well, I mean, for this one, it's kind of a cheat because I think I can, I'm going to pick two. Basically, I'm just spinning it out. I'm not going to 1, 2, 3 this one. I'm going to just tell you.
Yeah. I
John
don't
Cena and
really
Logan
have one.
Paul, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I had to pick someone, I feel like I don't have one that like is just really popping in my head, but I will say that I feel like Logan Paul is always hottest of the heat, so I'm okay with that.
Well, what happened, if you recall, was Jey Uso had just come out and he was like, "We gonna go again? We gonna go again?"
Oh,
With his heat,
yeah.
and he's like, to basically saying, "Hit my music again," and Logan Paul's music hits.
Yeah, he cut him off.
He comes
Yeah.
out to the crowd, he's like, "Damn."
Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
for that. We're good.
All right. Well, let's hit the third segment. The social. Social.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should
I was feeling that one a little more.
really record that on its own, but I do like how we do it on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now we've done it for so long.
Yeah, it's just the way we have to do it.
Can't go and record it now.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's a live performance,
Yeah.
always.
People would be so disappointed to lose that.
Yeah. Okay, so on the social, first thing to note, WrestleMania dates were announced.
Right.
They finally got Allegiant Stadium to agree to a date.
Yeah, so that was the other thing, confirmation that we're going back to Vegas.
Yeah.
And we will be there this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no way I'm keeping Kier away from that this year, so.
No.
It's April 18th and 19th. So.
Not Easter.
No, not Easter this year. So happy.
We're going.
Yeah, so that was planned. I love Vegas, so it's not horrible. I was really excited for it to be in New Orleans just because it was kind of a new place for you and I to go together.
Yeah.
We've both been to Vegas separately and together, so New Orleans would have been cool.
My 10th trip to Vegas.
Yeah. It'll be my third, I guess. Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be like, astronomically expensive again.
Yes.
But there's nothing you can do about it.
It is what it is.
It totally is. So we've got a year, so we can, work our way up to it.
Yep.
So it's going to be fun.
Next on the list here, we had some new announcements of possible new intro themes for people.
Right.
So one that I saw was Bayley. She was going to get Paramore to do her theme song. I did look into this a little bit, and it seems like Bayley has mentioned this like several times in the past. Like a couple years ago, she wanted Paramore to do it. There was a WrestleMania entrance that she wanted Paramore to play. Now I just read one thing. I didn't find too much information on it, that apparently possibly next week we could see her debut with a new theme song that is by Paramore. And I would love that. We love Paramore.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be super cool.
Yeah.
Also heard Braun Breaker had said that he wanted Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit to do a song for him.
Yeah.
Fred Durst heard about this and said, hell yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Let's do it. So that should be in the works as well.
Yeah. So many celebs and big artists getting right into WWE right now, which is really
Seth
cool.
Rollins, another one that's
he's on the list.
to have a new song as well.
the article that I read on him said he was just working with a mainstream artist, quote unquote mainstream artist.
Probably Travis Scott.
Yeah. Oh my God. If it's Travis Scott, I don't love that. But anyways, two things about that. I like Seth Rollins' theme song, and I'll be sad to see it go.
I think even with his heel turn, the crowd still is with him for his chant. You could tell that they're like digging into him as a heel, like it's working.
Yeah.
But they still do the whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, I don't know.
I think it still
it's
works.
Risky.
It works.
Why change
face or
that?
heel his song. So
yeah.
So I don't love that they're going to change that, but I mean, it is cool if there's a mainstream artist that wants to work with him. I'm hoping maybe they do like a variation of his song, like a spin on it. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if they kind of keep elements of keep the whoa, whoa, whoa.
Incorporate the
I don't
chanting.
know why I keep saying that. Like it's not like that, folks.
I like it. Yeah.
I'm just not gonna sing that too. You get one vocal performance in the episode. That's it.
I came up. You sound like you're singing the singing dinosaur song that I came up with for
right. Yeah.
children in the bath last night.
Very similar. Yes.
Anyways, I'm not going to sing that for you here because I already sang. Next we had Roxanne Perez. This is kind of a sad one. She's getting some death threats online. Somebody had posted her home address, posting threats on her life. So she did appear at the WWE Superstore for Money in the Bank, and obviously she was, performing in the shows. So it doesn't seem to have stopped her, but there was some extra security for her because of that. Pretty scary stuff. Crazy stalker, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's terrible. I'm surprised we don't hear about more of that. To be honest,
Yeah.
I mean we're talking about some pretty scantily clad women.
I don't want to go too far down that path because people will. We're not saying anyone is inviting it.
No, not at all. I'm just saying I'm surprised that we don't hear more
stalker
crazy
type
weirdo
stuff.
people doing or saying awful things. I
think
have heard a couple of stories of like people in the audience being pretty belligerent and rude and catcalling. In certain circumstances, people will be removed from live shows when they get inappropriate. But that's usually heckling, you know. But death threats and things like that.
Super
I mean,
scary.
that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and these types of things happen with all kinds of celebrities, there are crazy people out there. And when you're a very well-known person, or a very publicly known person, these people will find you. I mean, if you're out there, right? So, yeah, it's scary, but everything seems to be okay. Adam Pearce had posted about it, vaguely, but he just said, if you know, it has been reported to the authorities and something like that. So
it's just terrible. I mean, she's going to have to walk around with security and stuff like that all the time. I mean, just ridiculous,
Yeah, not fair.
Leave people alone.
Leave Roxanne alone. And then I just want to talk about some of the upcoming PLEs because we got a jam-packed month coming up. So first we have Night of Champions, which again we said is King and Queen of the Ring. They're just calling it something different. That's in Saudi Arabia, June 28th. So that's coming up really soon. Then we have another Saturday night main event on July 12th. We have Evolution, the all women's PLE on July 13th. And then we have SummerSlam, August 2nd and 3rd.
It is unreal.
Just like everything's just like a week or two apart.
So many PLEs. I had heard, I'm not sure this is true at all, but I had read somewhere that I guess TKO for some reason had a lot of debt or something. And recognizing the power of WWE right now is basically just riding this cash cow while they can with this popularity wave that's happening. And we're hearing at every event that they have that they're seeing bigger numbers than ever. And, every event is the most successful one that they've had for, each new event. It's crazy. So
Yeah, I mean, it tracks for sure. They're selling the tickets for astronomical prices. They've cut out a lot of house shows, which I guess probably don't make as much money, but they're amping up the PLEs, which they can charge crazy amounts of money for. So yeah, I mean, it tracks with that storyline. If that's true, that's, not verified information, but it does make sense given the circumstances. So
Yeah, well, I mean, if it is true, it shouldn't be taking them too long to get back to where they need
no,
to be.
they're racking in all the cash.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I had to talk about this evening.
Yeah, it was a fun week.
Yeah, yeah,
Looking forward to SmackDown this week.
yeah. SmackDown on Friday, Monday Night Raw. So we'll be recapping those both for you next week. And so you can check back in with us. In the meantime, we have had a little hiatus, just since the weekend on our TikTok. It's been a very busy week, but we'll try to get lots of content posted for you on that over the next little bit.
Yeah, we've picked up a few new toys that we'll probably make some videos for. One of which, if you're, really paying attention to our backdrop, we have an actual John Cena spinner here. I'd spin it for you, but I put one of the little things in there that makes it stop spinning, so it just sits right. Because apparently none of these in existence actually sit with the WW logo.
Yeah, if
properly.
you let it go haywire, it just goes off on its side.
But we've got that and a couple others that I'm not even going to spoil by telling you anything about them right now because they're pretty exciting. So, yeah, stay tuned for those. Check us out on our social media platforms.
Yeah, you can find us on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter/X. And we are at Poppin' Heat. That's at POPNHEAT.
Yeah. You can find us on our audio version of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Audible.
That's right.
You find the video version on YouTube.
Yeah, and lots of other videos on YouTube. We try to post some longer length stuff that we would normally post on TikTok. We do post on YouTube as well, so you can find all that there.
That's right.
Yeah. So check in with us and check in next week for our next episode, and we hope you enjoyed listening.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.